She never imagined her birthday would look like this. A silent room, a cake with unlit candles, and no one beside her. Everyone had forgotten until a single father walked in and said 4 words that changed her life forever. The afternoon sun painted golden streaks through Sweet Memories Bakery's lace curtains. Eva Lancaster sat motionless in her wheelchair before a simple white cake, 22 candles flickering in the quiet space. She was utterly alone on her birthday. The door chimed softly. A 30-year-old man entered, followed by his 6-year-old daughter chattering happily, holding a small gift box. When they saw the young woman sitting alone, the little girl tugged her father's shirt and whispered urgently. The man approached gently and asked, "May we join you?" Eva Lancaster had learned to measure life in the spaces between her father's phone calls. 22 years old, paralyzed from the waist down since a car accident 4 years ago, she inhabited a world of luxury that felt more like a gilded cage. Her father, Richard Lancaster, was the CEO of Lancaster Technologies, a man who commanded boardrooms and influenced markets, but couldn't find 5 minutes for his only daughter. The accident had changed everything. Not just her body, which would never again respond to her desperate wishes to stand and run, but her relationship with the only family she had left. Richard had retreated into his work with the fervor of a man running from his own helplessness. He provided everything money could buy: round-clock nurses, a mansion with every possible accommodation, the finest doctors who all said the same thing. She would never walk again. What he couldn't provide was himself. Eva had grown accustomed to birthdays marked by bank transfers and brief text messages, to holidays celebrated with staff who were paid to care, to a life where her wheelchair wasn't just a physical reality, but a symbol of the distance between her and the rest of the world. Daniel Morris carried his grief differently. A 30-year-old widower who worked with his hands as a carpenter. He had raised his daughter Lily alone for 5 years since his wife Sarah died during childbirth, where Richard Lancaster fled from pain. Daniel had learned to live alongside it, teaching his daughter that sadness and joy could exist in the same heart. His workshop smelled of sawdust and possibilities. Each piece of furniture he crafted a meditation on permanence in a world where nothing truly lasted. Lily had inherited her mother's sparkling eyes and her father's gentle heart, a combination that made her peculiarly sensitive to the loneliness in others. Perhaps it was because she had grown up with the ghost of a mother she never knew, learning early that love could transcend presence, that families could be both broken and whole simultaneously. Daniel had taught her to notice the quiet ones, the people sitting alone in corners, the ones whose smiles didn't reach their eyes. Everyone needs a friend. Lily, he would tell her, sometimes we need to be brave enough to offer friendship first. When Lily saw Eva sitting alone with her birthday cake, something in the child's heart recognized a kindred spirit in isolation. She had seen that same look in her father's eyes on the hardest days, when he thought she wasn't watching. The little girl's intuition, unmarred by adult hesitation, told her this beautiful lady in the wheelchair needed exactly what they could offer. Not pity, not charity, but simple human connection. Daniel, following his daughter's lead, as he often did in matters of the heart, saw in Eva's posture the weight of sustained loneliness. He recognized the careful way she held herself, as if taking up less space might make her absence less noticeable. His carpenter's eye, trained to see potential in rough wood, saw past the expensive clothes and the wheelchair to the person underneath, who was drowning in solitude. The decision to approach her wasn't calculated or questioned. It was as natural as breathing, as necessary as his next Heartbeat. Excuse me, Daniel said after. Eva had looked up at them with surprise. His voice was warm. Careful not to startle. We were wondering if we could join you. My daughter would like to wish you a happy birthday. Eva's eyes widened, shifting between the man with kind eyes and the little girl, practically vibrating with excitement. When was the last time someone had asked to join her rather than being paid to be there? Lily didn't wait for an answer, bouncing forward with a small cupcake she had been saving, decorated with a star-shaped candle. I'm Lily. This is for you. I made it with Daddy this morning. We come here every year on this day because it's my mommy's birthday, too. She's in heaven, but Daddy says she can still see us celebrating the innocence of the child's offering. The matter-of-fact way she spoke of death and celebration in the same breath pierced through Eva's carefully constructed walls. Daniel pulled out a chair, moving with the unhurried grace of someone who had learned that the most important moments in life couldn't be rushed. I'm Daniel. That's a beautiful cake. No one should celebrate alone. Eva found herself nodding, unable to speak, past the sudden tightness in her throat. When Lily started singing Happy Birthday, in her sweet, slightly off-key voice, Eva closed her eyes and made a wish for the first time in 4 years. The wish was simple, so simple it almost hurt. She wished not to be alone anymore. Daniel's baritone joined his daughter's soprano, creating a harmony that filled the small bakery with more warmth than Eva had felt in years. Other customers glanced over with smiles, but Eva barely noticed them. Her world had narrowed to this table. These two strangers who had chosen to see her, to sit with her, to make her birthday mean something again. Over the following weeks, what began as a chance encounter evolved into something deeper and more profound. Daniel and Eva met regularly at the park where Lily fed ducks and chatted endlessly about her drawings, her favorite books, and the mother she imagined through her father's stories. Eva discovered that Daniel's presence didn't demand anything from her. He didn't look at her wheelchair with pity or discomfort. He simply saw it as part of her, like the way her hair caught the light or how she bit her lower lip when concentrating on a book. Their conversations meandered through safe territories at first: literature, lilies, antics, the weather. Before venturing into deeper waters, Daniel spoke of Sarah not with a raw her small voice carrying the weight of truth. You're her daddy, but you're mean. My daddy says family means being there, not just paying for things. You make Miss Eva cry. That's not what daddies are supposed to do. Richard looked down at this tiny warrior child, and something in her fearless accusation pierced his armor. You don't understand. Little girl, I'm protecting my daughter. Lily shook her head solemnly. No, you're not. You're protecting yourself from feeling sad. My daddy feels sad about Mommy, but he doesn't run away. He stays. The truth from a child's mouth hung in the air like an indictment. Richard's gaze moved from Lily to Eva, and for the first time in 4 years, he truly looked at his daughter. She was soaking wet in a modest bakery, defended by a carpenter and a child, and she looked more alive than she had since the accident. The fire in her eyes, the determination in her posture, the protective way Daniel stood beside her. This was his daughter, not the broken shell he'd been managing. Eva, he began, his voice cracking. Dad, Eva interrupted. When I woke up in that hospital, paralyzed and terrified. You know what I needed? Not the best doctors or the fanciest equipment. I needed my father. I needed you to hold my hand and tell me we'd figure it out together. Instead, you disappeared into your office and threw money at the problem. Well, I'm not a problem to be solved. I'm your daughter, and I'm in love with this man who sees me as whole, even though I'm broken. Richard's shoulders sagged, the fight leaving him as suddenly as it had arrived. He walked slowly to a chair and sat down heavily, looking every one of his 60 years. The rain outside intensified, drumming against the windows like an accusation. I didn't know what to do, he admitted, quietly, his voice barely audible. When your mother died, I could work harder, make more money, build a bigger company in her memory. But when you got hurt, all my money couldn't fix it. I felt so useless. I'm useless. Daniel spoke for the first time since Richard's arrival. You're not useless. You're afraid. I understand that. When Sarah died, I wanted to follow her, but Lily needed me. So I learned to be afraid and present at the same time. Your daughter needs you, Mr. Lancaster. Not your money or your protection. Just you. Richard looked at this working man who had somehow understood what he with all his education and success had missed. I've lost 4 years, Richard said, his voice broken. How do I come back from that? Eva wheeled herself over to her life. Half-lived. Eva's vows brought tears to everyone present. Daniel, you and Lily didn't just accept my limitations. You showed me they don't define my possibilities. You've given me a family, a future, and a love I thought only existed in the books I read. I promise to be the mother Lily deserves, the wife you deserve, and to never let a day pass without choosing us over and over again. When they kissed, Lily cheered so loudly that everyone laughed, breaking the sacred moment into something even better, pure unbridled joy. The reception was held right there, in the bakery with Daniel's carpenter friends dancing, including Eva, who spun her wheelchair with abandon while Lily danced circles around her.